Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So we completed the 13th chapter. Okay. But before I go into that, happy Ugadi, etc. for everyone here. Those who are celebrating. I think half of you may be celebrating after 15 days. The New Year, Tamil New Year, the Mallus, Vishu, etc. is 15 days down the line. Others are celebrating it today. Okay. So, happy Ugadi and all for everyone. Okay. So, we did the Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga. Any questions or clarifications on this, or shall we go ahead? Okay. So, as I said last time, the next chapter, the 14th one, okay, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. This is a very simple chapter actually, and it is meant for each one to fine tune their minds. How much sattvic thing is there, how rajasic they are, what they need to deal with, what they need to grow out of, all this. Each person has to connect up that part of it. Okay. What the chapter is doing is giving you an understanding. How can you get more? You can always also sit. This is a old practice that you sit with the teacher one-on-one and see. But then of course it will involve opening up, talking about a few things, etc. So various ways of doing it. If your self-awareness is good, you can do it on your own. If you need some help, sit down with someone. Check up with someone also. It can be other Guru Bhais. Now that we are officially in the endemic stage, we can start meeting soon, which we will do. Okay. Yeah. God willing, it will happen soon. Okay. Okay. Then, so the 13th chapter starting. Since there are no questions, I will get into the 13th. Any questions or is it all fine? Okay. I see one message here. What is that? See. Anything that comes into existence, living or non living, because kindly re-explain. Okay. All right. See, what is Kshetram? Whatever you objectify is Kshetram. So if you look at Kshetram, the truth of it will be pure existence consciousness. We have seen that before. Remember the truth of this book, what it is? Resolving into pure existence. At the same time, there is a name and form. Okay. This name and form is because of Maya or Kshetra. Kshetrajna is the pure existence consciousness. So any object that you are dealing with in the world, anything that's created, anything that you are seeing is what? Combination of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna, the pure consciousness, the existence, and Kshetra, Namarupa, name and form. Really speaking, they are not two entities. It's not that there is Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Because Kshetrajna is something mithya, Namarupa only, name and form. You remove the Kshetrajna, the consciousness, what is there left behind? Nothing. That's why my old request, don't give me a kurta, think of a kurta without material. You'll never be able to get it. Yeah. Therefore, that's why he's saying, everything that you see around, everything that comes into existence is Kshetra, Kshetrajna combination. The combination is an adhyasa. It's not a real combination. It's what we call a mithya combination. Because there cannot be a real combination between what is true and what is false. What is the connection between the rope and the snake that you see on the rope? What is the connection? There is no connection. Yeah. Similarly, between my kurta and cloth, what is the connection? What is the sambandha, the relationship between kurta and cloth? There cannot be a relationship because there are two different degrees of realities. You touch the kurta, you are touching the cloth. The weight of the kurta is the weight of the cloth. The feel of the kurta is the feel of the cloth. The fall of the kurta is the fall of the cloth. Where is kurta? There is only cloth. So this is what one needs to see in Vedanta, that all that is there is nothing but pure consciousness. You are dealing with names and forms all the time. I am not wearing cloth, I am wearing a kurta. So you are dealing with names and forms all the time in your life, constantly, moment to moment. What is it made of? Pure consciousness. To be able to shift, to know that consciousness and shift your attention, even when you are dealing with names and forms. बस वेदांत में इतना ही बात है, और कुछ नहीं है. That's all you have to do in Vedanta, nothing else. If you have got this, you have got it. Yeah. It's like names and forms you will always pay attention to. Like when I look at where Aditya is sitting, he is probably sitting on a veranda or something. Because I can see the whole village scene behind him. And I know it's not a screen. Yeah. So your attention will go to name and forms. So that's okay. But to recognize that all that you're saying is only one consciousness. That is cognitive in terms of your understanding. It is not in terms of an experience. Names and forms are what you experience. The moment you talk of experience, it is names and forms. I think that sums up that request, right? Yeah, okay. Now going further, the 14th chapter is called Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the three gunas. Okay. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. All of us have it. Even the most sattvic guy in the world has some tamas with him. Otherwise, he will not be able to sleep. He will not be able to relax up. Okay. Yeah. So tamas is also an important part of it. So combinations of sattva, rajas, tamas makes up your mind, not you the consciousness. It only makes up your mind. It makes up your equipment. And equipment wise, the idea is to be predominantly sattvic. That's the whole idea. Because the more sattvic the mind is, the more you will understand the reality. You will be able to make it a part of your life. But because we want to be predominantly sattvic, it's not that we are going to give up rajas and tamas. No. Predominantly sattvic, okay? We need rajas. Otherwise, you will be a lotus eater. You will not be doing anything. You will not be capable of doing. Your capacity to do comes from rajas. What drives you is rajas. You need tamas as well because you need to chill out. You need to relax up. So we need all of them. But predominantly we try to be sattvic. Okay. So that's the whole idea. Okay. So that's why it's giving the description. What is rajas? What is this thing? See what is there playing in my mind and fine tune it. Okay. All right. So it starts without Arjuna asking. Krishna himself takes off. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuya Pravakshami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Jajñatva Munayas Sarve Param Siddhim Mito Gataha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Bhagavan Krishna is saying, what is that? Param Bhuya Pravikshami. Bhuyam. Again, Param Pravikshami. I will talk about the highest. Jnananam Jnanamuttamam. Among all the knowledges, disciplines of knowledge that's available, Uttamam Jnanam. The best of it. Why best, etc. we have seen in the 9th chapter. Other knowledge, all other forms of knowledge only helps you manage samsara. This knowledge frees you from samsara. Therefore, jnananam uttamam jnanam. It is not that other knowledge is not useful, okay? Everything has its own place. In fact, Mundaka Upanishad says, everyone has to learn 2 knowledges in the world. One is worldly knowledge. That is, your puja, rituals, havan, etc. onwards. He calls it worldly knowledge. Your puja and all also is put as worldly knowledge. Why? That is meant to manage samsara. And param, the absolute knowledge. That's for moksha. One to manage your life, one for moksha. Then your life goes smooth. Life goes smooth. So param jnanam everyone should get. Aparam jnanam you can pick and choose. Why? That will depend upon your interest, your talents, your skills, and not a problem. If the doctor is in a legal jam, he can go to the lawyer. If the lawyer is in a medical problem, he can go to the doctor. So, life goes on. The interdependency of society, life goes on. But I can't say, I don't know anything about the worldly knowledge. How do you live 20, 25 years? Depending upon my parents. Then let me tell you, param jnanam you will not be able to get. There is no competency in you. That competency of achievement is not there. The self-esteem that comes from achievement is not there. You have not learned to think and function. Then how are you going to think and understand? People like Ramana and all are exceptions to the rule, okay? Yeah. Because they walked off. At 13, 14 years, he walked off to become a sadhu. That's different. They are all exceptions. Yeah. Adi Shankara of Kaladi. Next month is his birth anniversary. We will celebrate that, okay? So, he walked off to become a sadhu very early in life. But that doesn't mean today an 8-year-old can be taken and made into a sadhu. Character has got no experience of life. What is he going to do? I've seen this happening in some mathas. It doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. They have to vicariously then experience life. And all that is a different story. Here, jnananam jnanamuttamam. Yak jnatva munayas sarve. Knowing which all the munis, who's a muni? Manana Shilavan. Intellectuals. Okay. The word muni is used for intellectuals, not our modern intellectuals. Okay. Modern intellectuals sometimes I wonder what they are. Okay. But munaya Manana Shilavan. Sarve. Param Siddhi Matogataha. They achieved the absolute Siddhi. Not Siddhi of walking on water, etc., but the absolute Siddhi of being, the limitless consciousness itself, discovering their identity with the limitless consciousness. They gain this with this knowledge. All right. Then little bit, all these are called Arthavada verses, praise to highlight the importance of this knowledge. Okay. Idam jnanam upashritya mama sadharmyam agataha sargepi na upajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. Idam jnanam upashritya, this knowledge, paravidya, upashritya, taking recourse to that, depending on that. Mama sadharmyam agataha, you will gain sadharmyam with Ishvara Ishwarasya bhavam. Ishwarasya bhavam, not functional. Reality. Okay. Remember, Ishwarasya bhavam, you have two aspects. One is functional, which is limited, which is finite, and the other, which is absolute, the limitlessness. So, when he says Mama Sadharmyam, he is talking about that absolute identity. That absolute identity with the Swarupa of Ishvara you gain. So, what happens? Okay, theek hai. What will happen then? Sargena upajayante. When the creation is on, you are not born, you remain as a pure consciousness. And when pralaya happens, when everything is resolved, nevatinti cha, you remain the same consciousness. Okay. You are no more an entity in the samsara. To have kabhi kushi, kabhi gum. More an entity. You are that limitless consciousness in which everything comes and everything happens. You are untouched by what's happening. Everything happens in you. दुनिया का खेल दे सकता है. You can enjoy the खेल, the play of samsara, but you are untouched by it. You are not held miserable by it. Now here is a subtle point. If you feel, is that really something worth happening? Worth gaining? Then you have to recognize that the rajas is high in me. My self-esteem still comes from my achievements. The need for achievement is still there. Nothing wrong. Live a life of karma yoga, achieve things. Nothing wrong. But recognize that rajas aspect is high. That means if I am sattvic, I will not be able to achieve. Of course, you will be able to achieve. Without the heartburns, without the ulcers, without the heart attacks. You will be able to. Yeah. But you will not judge yourself so much by your achievements. Remember what I said? I am Osmandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. The traveler comes across a statue in the desert. The whole statue is missing, only the feet are available. And there is this inscription. I am Osmandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Because you will never be able to achieve this. And the traveler says, I looked around and all that I found was sand and sand and sand. All achievements are this much only. ठीक है, you got a Padma Shri, you got a Bharat Ratna, you got a Nobel Prize. Good, good. You got a Nobel Prize for science, for physics, and 25 years later, your own student dismissed your theory and got a Nobel Prize. That's how science is. That's how achievements are. All achievements are like that. The people who come after you will achieve more because they are standing on your shoulders. You achieved a lot because you are standing on the previous generation's shoulders. This will go on. This will go on. ये चलता है संसार, इस कॉल संसार का खेल है. Okay. Then he talks a little bit about creation also. Mama yoni mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Same thing what he talked about Kshetra and Kshetrajna is reminding you here. Mama yoni mahad brahma. My womb, the cause for the creation, is Mahad Brahma. Mahad Brahma here don't take as Brahman, which is great. Mahad Brahma stands for Maya. Whenever the word Mahat etc. comes, you have to understand it. Okay? Technically it implies Maya, Mahad Brahma, the great Maya. Because Brahma, the word, really means bigness. It's used in the sense of bigness. Therefore the great Maya, great Mahat, is my yoni. Tasmin garvam dadamiham. I place the seed as consciousness, I am the seed within that. Then Sambhava Sarva Bhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. It's what is the seed, etc. Now, you just enliven that Maya. By your mere presence, you enliven Maya. And because you enliven Maya, the whole creation is on. Whole creation is on. Okay. Then he says for anything in the world, any human being with whatever parentage or no parentage, okay. Sarvayonishu kauntesha murtaya sambhavati intiya tasam brahma mahadyoni niraham bija pradha pita. Sarvayonishu kaunteya, irrespective of which womb the person is born, human, mammal, reptilian, okay, insect, any yoni, anywhere, okay. Murtaya sambhavantiya, whichever murtis are born, whichever name and form is born, tasam brahma mahadyoni. Mahadyoni, the great yoni is what? Maya Shakti alone. Niraham bija pradam pita. And I, the consciousness, is considered as a father. So if you want the creation, here it is. Who's the mother? Shakti. Who's the father? Shiva. That is it. Navratri on now. That's why, because Maya stands for creation, it also stands for darkness, ignorance, etc. That's why you find most Devi worship happen in the evening. If you are worshipping Shiva, it will be morning. If you are worshipping Shakti, it will be evening. When will you do a Bhagavati Sevai or a Deepa Namaskara Puja, etc.? Early morning? Always after sunset, no? It's always like that. Because that's a connection. Both are one, but you are invoking it separately. With the focus on what? Because the focus is like that, Devi worship generally will be in the night. Shiva, Vishnu, etc. morning. No, it's not a fixed thing, but generally, because of their association. The same thing comes in various Oriental disciplines, yin and yang, etc. All that comes from this only. Okay, all right. Then why is he saying all this? To introduce the idea of Prakriti, Maya, Shakti, etc. Then he is talking about that. Now look at it. If everything comes from consciousness and Maya, we all have to be consciousness, and in the equipment, name and form, we should have Maya with us or not. In the body, there should be aspects of Maya and consciousness. In the mind, there should be aspects of Maya and consciousness. In the prana, there should be aspects of Maya and consciousness. The sentiency in all of them is consciousness. Then what about Maya? Here, description. Consciousness is one, so it can be dismissed in one sentence. Okay? Sentiency, that's it. Maya is many, therefore the whole thing comes in. Sattvam rajas tama iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibhantanti mahabaho dehi dehinam novyayam. Sattva rajas tamaha iti gunaha. Three types of gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. We have seen this before also. Prakriti sambhava, born of Prakriti, Maya. Nibhagdanti mahabaho. It seems to bind. Whom does it bind? Dehe dehinam avyayam. This dehi, the dehin here, the one who obtains in this body, that consciousness which is manifest in the mind, etc. It seems to bind it. Okay. How? Through sattva, rajas, tamas. It does not really bind. Remember, Maya is dependent on me, the consciousness. Therefore, Maya cannot bind. But in Maya, there is tamas. Tamas is ignorance. Therefore, when the consciousness is manifest in the mind, and in the mind there is ignorance, I take myself as what? I am ignorant. Udhar se khel chalu. The game is on. The moment you say that, game on. Okay. Samsara game on. You can say, hey, stop, I want to get off. You can't get off. Game is on. There's no way you can get off. Yeah. All right. All right. Now he's giving you a short description of each of them and telling you how it binds you. Okay. Tatra sattvam nirmalatva prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena bhatnati jnana sangena chanagha. Tatra, there, out of the three sattva rajas tamas, sattvam prakashakam is prakashakam, that which lights up your mind, capable of knowledge, etc. Okay. Anamayam, sattvam is pure, not conditioned, not contaminated by anything, pure sattva. Your mind is a product of sattva. Okay. After this text we will see a little bit of, before we go into other texts, if people survive, we will see some tattva bodha, etc., where you will see how the whole process, etc., is there. Right now it will become too much, that's why I have not taken it. Okay. Therefore he says, anamayam. All right, fine. Hey, that is good, no? Yes. How does it bind you then? Sukha sangena bhatnati, ties you to sukha. Jnana sanghena chanagha. Hey Anagha, sinless one, it ties you to knowledge. Every human being has the desire to know things. Curiosity is inborn. No? You may not have enough love for knowledge to go and get a doctorate, but definitely enough to know what's happening in the neighbor's house. That much curiosity. Who doesn't gossip? Where does gossip come from? Curiosity to know only. Samji, we are men, we don't gossip. When women do it, you call it gossip. When men do it, you call it, no, we are discussing people, you know. इतना ही फर्क है. इतना ही फर्क है. Who doesn't like a nice juicy tale? It comes from the love of knowledge only. Supposing you hear a big noise somewhere, bang, all of you will want to know what is it, no? Supposing I say, class hai, reva de, let it all be there. But the back of the mind will be there. Natural. And sukha sangena. Who doesn't want sukha, tell me? In fact, we are all searching for happiness, for fulfillment actually. But since we don't know what exactly fulfillment, etc., is, it gets toned down to some pleasures, sukha, etc. That's why everyone likes pleasurable things. No? In this weather in Bombay, who doesn't like the AC on? Yes, some of us don't put it on, hey, too much of expense, Baba. Or, not very healthy, I want to have the natural thing. Okay. But sukha, comfortable. Who doesn't want to have a comfortable life? But comfort is associated with sukha. Sukha by implication gets associated with ananda. Therefore, sukha sangena. A sattvic mind is closer to sukha. Therefore, sukha sangena badnati. Who is not bound by things that make you happy? Tell me that. Whether it's a music, whether it's an art form, whether it is a TV serial, a movie, anything, food. Certain communities are known for that, their love for food. Like one of my friends says, sir, what do you talk about our community when we call the cook Maharaj? The importance you give to the food is reflected on the importance you give to the cook. Sukha Sangena. We all become Sukhajivis. And also the pursuit of knowledge. I have seen some scientists say, I am not bothered about getting the answer. The very pursuit of knowledge is important to me. Why are you pursuing something? Because you want to know, na? But the pursuit of gaining knowledge, badnati, bind you. It binds you. Yeah, of all the things that bind you, this is better. Okay. Therefore, don't say tomorrow onwards, no more knowledge orientation. That is unhealthy. That is not understanding the Gita. Gita is saying even sattva can bind you. Whether you have, your hands are tied up with iron, what do you call that? Cuffs. Iron cuffs or golden ones. You are bound all right, isn't it? Okay. All right, Sukha Sangena, Jnana Sangena cha. Then what about Rajas? Rajaha Rajatmakam Vidhi Trishna Sangha Samudbhavam Ta Nibhaknati Kaunteya Karma Sangena Dehinam. Rajaha Rajatmakam Vidhi Ragatmakam Vidhi. Sorry. Rajaha Ragatmakam Vidhi. Rajas is about ragas, passion. I love this, I hate it. You will use such strong expressions for small things. I love bananas. You're supposed to like bananas and love a person. But that extreme use, ragatmakam vidhi. Trishna Sangha Samudbhavam. It causes what? Longings. And holding on, attachments. Holding on to things. If anything happens to me, I don't know what will happen to you. What will happen to you? Nothing will happen. Okay. Therefore, Trishna Sanghatmakam. Tan Nibhagnati Kaunteya Karma Sangena Dehina. How does it bind you? Karma Sangena. By making you chase your own tail. You are running around like a headless chicken, trying to get this, trying to get that, trying to get that. I want money, I want this job, I want this investment, I want this thing, I want to start a small business, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. Ragatmakam vidhi. Karma sangena. In your 20s and 30s, it's good to have a lot of rajas. Acha hai. Some sort of achievement will happen. It's good. As long as it doesn't push up your BP at that age, it's okay. That much of running around is okay. Ragatmaka. You are nothing but a bundle of desires. You're walking on the road and suddenly you freeze. Why? You saw something in the shop window. People like to do window shopping. I don't know whether people still do it. Sorry, now it is no more window shopping. It is shopping online. Na? Looking at various things. You are not buying anything. You are just looking. What is it? What is it? Window shopping has been replaced by online thing. Itna hi farak hai. It's the same. Principle is the same. Yeah. Principle is the same. Ragatmakam. Raga. Nothing wrong with raga, but it betrays a sense of finitude in you, no? That I will be happy only when I get that. I'll be happy. Therefore, you have to get it. Therefore, to get it, either you have to work and get it yourself, or you have to get somebody who will get it for you. Marry a rich guy. Come on, Swamiji, you are making fun only of the woman. No, find a rich father-in-law for the men. फर्क इतना ही है. Yeah. Why? Because I want a lot of things in life. Yeah. So the whole focus becomes that. Rajas. Now if you compare Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, that Sattva looks better off, no? To knowledge, etc. To being happy, contented, that looks better. But from Rajas you can't jump to Sattva just like that. There is a process to go through. Okay, we'll see that. That all we'll see. Tamastu ajnanajam viddhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramada alasya nidrabhihi tan nibhagnati bharata. Tamastu ajnanajam viddhi. What is tamas? Ajnanajam, born of ignorance. Tamas is ignorance, darkness. Vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam. It deludes everybody. I am a very objective person. I am not deluded. That itself is a delusion. Why? You have taken yourself to be the body and mind. I am this much only. First delusion. Then second delusion. If I get these things, I will be happy. If I don't get it, I will be miserable. If I get these things, I will be miserable. Mother-in-law, etc. If I get her here, I will be miserable. So, all this is part of our delusion only. No? Delusion. Okay. Mohanam sarvadehinam. And how does it bind you? Pramada alasya nidrabhihi tan nibhagnati bharata. By these 3-4 things in pramadaha, indifference, carelessness. By being indifferent, क्या मगजमारी करने का यार, ये सब हमारा काम नहीं है. अरे, have you seen Kashmir files? मैं क्या करूँ Kashmir files देखे? Whole country is talking about it. हाँ, बोलने दो. If you are not careful, Kashmir files will be repeated all over the country. Yeah, be careful. छोड़ो ना, ये सब ऐसे बात है. I am giving an example. Okay, the idea of being not bothered, not heeding to what's happening around you, not heeding to what's happening in your family also. I find this sometimes couple comes to me, like generally it is somebody has got a new job, therefore has to shift into another city, this, that, etc. And I remember the wife comes to me and tells me she is very unhappy that the husband is taking a job in another city, but I am being supportive, I will support him. So then the husband comes to me separately and tell him, what do you think your wife's reaction is to this? Oh, she is very happy with it. I said, I think you better talk with her. No, she's so supportive. I said, she's supportive. Her feelings may be different. Better talk to her. No. Pramadaha. It can come at subtle levels like this in relationships. You come home, you find either your child or your wife or someone or parent or whatever looking a bit down. How are you feeling? Okay. That generally will be the first reaction, whether you're a man or a woman. ठीक है ना, okay बोला ना, बस I have done my duty, I have asked, उससे ज़्यादा मत करो. I don't want to know. Pramadaha. You don't have that patience to spend some time and understand what the person is going through. Pramadaha. Tamas coming at subtle levels. Gross levels is easy to understand. At subtle levels, tamas comes in. She said she is okay, then why should I bother? Exactly because she said she is okay. She is not yet feeling comfortable enough to tell you. And to the wife, I will have another message. Learn to be more assertive and express your feelings. A message for both, okay? Saying okay when you are not okay is part of that pramada. It's part of it. Yeah. Pramadaha. Alasya. Laziness. Samji, too much of activity is not good, no? You only said that. Therefore, using the teaching to justify your laziness. Hey, a lot of things have to be done. Things are waiting. Hare, देखेगा ना. देखेगा. Alasyam, laziness. Nidra bhi, too much of sleep. Now, how do you decide too much of sleep? Because different bodies require different amount of sleep. Good thumb rule is 6 to 8 hours a day. Good thumb rule. How you get it is up to you. Okay. I generally found this works for the common man. Now there are meditations you can do which you can reduce your sleep and etc. That's meant for other people. Don't worry about that. And it's not very healthy to do it like that also. You can do with 4.5 hours sleep. I once found one yoga teacher talking like that online. With 4.5 hours sleep. Not healthy. Your body will age. If you're sleeping only 4 hours in the night, your body will age. Unhealthily age. Akala mrityu etc. will happen. Untimely death etc. will happen. Not healthy. So good thumb rule based on Ayurveda as well as modern science. 6 to 8 hours. 6 to 8 hours. Maybe broken up, okay. Alright, but whatever. It's a good thumb rule. Okay. Growing children will require a bit more. Because they are growing. A lot of hormonal activity is happening in their body. Especially when they become teenagers. A lot of hormonal activity. So they will require a bit more. That's okay. Yeah, discipline them to getting up early, etc. But give them the leeway of being able to catch up on their sleep by sleeping early or some other time or whatever. How you manage is depending on your situation, okay? Yeah. How you manage. Therefore, Nidra bihi nibagnati bharata. This is how Sattva, Rajas, Tamas works and binds you. You are not bound by anything outside, you are bound by what is inside. You know, we have a saying in martial arts. Your enemy is not outside you, your enemy is inside you. Master this, you master everything. It's true. It is true. See, to all of us who are intellectuals, we will have that sattvic aspect, we will have this. If I can read a book, I am telling you about myself. I will ignore what has to be done in the house. I will read a book. I will read that. Arey, look at your table, what is that? Revade. Low priority area. Some aspect will affect everyone, I am telling you. Revade. Yeah. So sometimes you have to discipline yourself. Hey, stop that reading. Time for you to do some exercise. Take care of your health. Work out. But this book is so interesting. Keep it down. Sattvena sangha. Jnana sanghena. It binds you. It's all sattvic. Sattva binds you like that. You rather be immersed in that book than relate to the person in your home, family. It is like, you know, the serial, I quote the serial often because it's a satire on life. The Big Bang Theory. So that whole group of nerds, all looking for adventure, quest, this, that, etc., all online, okay? and there is a chance for them to do something offline. Something small. Go and confront somebody and recover someone's dues from them. That's all. Small thing. You may actually get out and do it. Let us play this game. This is so interesting. But that has to be done. Oh, yeah. Means you are willing to bury yourself in a book and get a vicarious enjoyment from the book rather than take care of a relationship that is there. That is sattva problems. Even sattva can affect you like that. They are all intellectuals. That is assuming you are an intellectual, okay? If you are not, it is some other reason coming into it. Then pramada is coming into it. Tamas is coming into the picture. But if you are an intellectual, these are the things you have to look out for. You rather bury yourself in a book than relate to a person. And nowadays it's worse. Instead of book, it becomes your phone. So these are the type of things. Because there is a sukha aspect there. Na? What are you seeing on your phone? Some YouTube videos, some this thing, some dance videos, some this thing, some promotion. Some entertained. You are being entertained. Remember, entertainment is the fastest growing industry. And people complain there is not enough time. How can both be true? How can people say there is not enough time and entertainment be the fastest growing industry? It's paradoxical. No? It's not paradoxical, it's very clear. That means all the time is going into entertainment. Sukha sangena nabagnati. How do people find the time to watch your normal TV with all the 400 channels? Amazon, Netflix, what all? I don't know what all is there. Some other OTTs. Is there a time? If you are subscribed to all this, then at least 4 hours you must be spending. 3-4 hours you must be spending on it. Sukha sangena nirbagnati. There is some sukha in that, pleasure in that. If you are an intellectual, this becomes your sukha sangha, by which you are bound. You know the subtle aspects that people miss out. If you are sattvika also, you can have bondage. Your entertainment becomes your sukha. Music, great. I mean, it's an art form, no? It's something positive. Then watching a stupid Bollywood movie, all half truths in it. Instead of that, you are listening to some good classical music. How long? Sukha sangena nabagnati. Sukha sangam this is. Sometimes good, relaxing. It's very relaxing and nice. It's stimulating and relaxing at the same time. It stimulates your brains, at the same time it relaxes you. Excellent, very good. How long? Something 3-4 hours every day. What are you, a musician? If Shaboni says that 3-4 hours every day, I will accept it. Why? That's a job. She is not there today. She has a program. She said, I'll catch up on the video. I said, okay. So 3-4 hours every day for her is fine, not for you and me. For you and me, that is Sukha Sangha. Bondage of Sattva. Similarly, bondage of Rajas. Rajas bondage is easier to recognize. Simple. You are running around like a headless chicken. If you are doing that, if you are doing 100 different things and half of them are not your priorities, you know that you are bound by Rajas. But Swami, I am interested in everything. Interest in everything is not your priority. I am also interested in a lot of things. Everything in the creation interests me. I am not joking. Yeah. There's nothing I'm not interested in. Solve Ishvara's Maya is great to see. Great fun. But interest is not priority. Honestly, I'm interested in physics, I'm interested in biology, I'm interested in psychology. And now because we are thinking of the ashram, etc., I'm also interested in architecture. Yeah. I'm sure the other day that architect was surprised that I could identify Laurie Balmer's work. I'm interested. You're interested in everything. What are your priorities? Work according to that. Live by your priorities, then you are okay. If you are running around like a headless chicken, either you are taking on too much or your priorities are not clear. Once in a way it will happen to all of us, okay? Some pressure of work will come and there will be a lot of things coming up. That is always there once in a way. Once in a way, anything is okay. Once in a way it will be there, some 2-3 projects come head on together, then what do? That's fine. That's fine. That's not a problem. That's not running around like a headless chicken. That is just that the way the projects have came about, it came about like that. You are working for an organization, so everything is not in your hands. So that's perfectly okay. But if you are running around, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. The classical example I give normally for this is one of my students. For her health, you know what all she was doing? She was practicing taekwondo. She says she was practicing Bharatanatyam, though I didn't find any grace in her movements. There was no, either from Bharatanatyam and some grace should come. From martial arts also some grace should come. Different type. But she used to go cycling every day. She used to go for yoga. Do you need these 4 activities for health? Any one is good enough. And she has come. If you have the time and you want to do all that, fine. But she complains of no time. Then you know that Rajas is binding you. You are running around like a headless chicken because you don't really know what is it that you want out of life. When I practice martial arts, I don't do any other form of exercise. Right? It's good enough to keep you healthy and fit. और क्या चाहिए? Some of the fittest people are martial artists. Why do you need anything else? But running around like that, running around like a headless chicken, Rajas, activity binds you. Tamas I talked about. All this can become a bondage. All this can help you free also. Tamas is a great bondage, very evident bondage. That carelessness that comes into your life is because of tamas. Unawareness that comes into your life is because of tamas. Not caring attitude. The selfishness that comes into your life is because of tamas. So watch out for these things. Lack of alertness is tamas. Yeah, lack of alertness is tamas. So you decide. Now see, some people may think, Swamiji, the way you are saying, I am bound by all of them. Correct, we have all of it in us. No? We have Sattva, Rajas, Tamas in us, so a little bit of it all will be there in our lives. That is fine. How do we handle it? How do we manage it? That is the question. How do we handle and manage? That is the question. Okay. Then how does it manifest? How does it come? Does it all come together or does it come in sequentially or what? All this, Krishna deals with it. Okay? Krishna deals with all that. And as I said, all this is said to fine tune our mind. Otherwise, the Gita is enough to give you moksha. With Gita, you gain moksha. Really, Gita is complete in itself. One book for gaining moksha, Gita is enough. Gita sugita kartavyam kimuktam anya shastrehi. Says that. What is there to be talked about from other shastras? When Gita is there, Sakshat Ishvara Mukhat, from the Lord's mouth itself it has come. Aur kya chahiye? It's so complete. So complete. So I don't think I'm anywhere close. Fine tune. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, all this. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is a paradigm. Don't expect something called Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, etc. Okay? Don't expect a thing called Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. It's a categorization. And here categorization is fine because you are doing it with a finite thing, your mind. You are not categorizing the Atma. You are doing that with your mind and things. There you have to sort of slot it to deal with it. Not watertight, but some sort of slotting, so that you can deal with it. So deal with it. And then find your freedom. So become sattvic predominantly. Take care of the flip side. Have rajas in you, take care of the flip side. Have some tamas with you and take care of the flip side. Then you are fine. Then what? Then moksha, here I come. Or I should find their comic strip. There was this comic strip, full parody of the Gita, full parody. It's there in somewhere in all my papers. I have not sorted out some of the papers. That is tamas manifesting in me. Okay. There hai na hai. Karega. Are there more important things to do? So like that parody. Here I come, moksha. Because you are ready for it. Your mind is ready. Aur kya chahiye? Okay. So good place to stop. Okay. Om Tat Sat. That's a